The supreme leader of Iran, Mojtaba Khamenei, has disappeared without a trace, which has finally been acknowledged even in Tehran. The whole country had just buried its leader. 6 days of mourning, millions of people on the streets of Tehran, delegations from dozens of countries, the coffins of Khamenei and his family under Iranian flags. And there was one single person whom everyone was looking for in that crowd, but he never appeared. The very person who is supposed to be leading the Islamic Republic of Iran. The new supreme leader of Iran, Mojtaba Khamenei, never appeared in public. He never showed up at his own father's funeral, and before that, he missed his own wife's funeral. And the whole world is wondering whether the current leader of Iran is even alive. And apparently Mojtaba Khamenei has long been dead, and the country is simply ruled by a clan of radicals. But today, some truly shocking details have emerged, which we will now discuss together. My name is Alexei Pechi. Let's discuss this topic together. But before we start, I ask you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We are moving towards the milestone of 300,000 subscribers, so I would be glad if you personally become one of those 300,000 subscribers to this YouTube channel. Subscribe, leave a like, and be sure to leave your comments below this video. Thank you. So, let's make things clear right from the start, because if you don't follow Middle East news closely, it's easy to get confused here. The former supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is officially and unquestionably dead. He was killed on February 28th as a result of an Israeli airstrike on the very first day of the war. He was just buried the day before in Iran. But today, the question of whether the leader of Iran is alive does not concern him, but rather his son and successor, Mojtaba Khamenei, who hasn't been seen alive even once since that very strike. And the fact that he didn't even show up at the funerals of his father, mother, and wife has turned the rumors into a full-fledged state-level mystery. And wasn't Mojtaba Khamenei also killed on the very same day his father and wife were killed? In this episode, we'll break down everything that's officially known, why he's being hidden, and what conspiracy theories have emerged. From claims that he's incapacitated, to suggestions that he's long gone and replaced by a cardboard cutout or some separate clan. We'll also cover the conspiracy theories circulating online. Let's start with the facts. Mojtaba Khamenei has not appeared in public even once since February 28th. Since that very Israeli airstrike which wounded him and killed his father, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, on the first day of the war between Israel, the US, and Iran, that is, the new supreme leader has gained the highest power in the country, but since taking office, he remains an invisible man. There haven't even been any new photos of Mojtaba. He has never appeared in public, he hasn't appeared in any videos, and there aren't even any audio recordings. Well, you would think, if he's afraid of Israel's retaliation, at least he could have recorded an audio message. Iranian television only read out written statements that were supposedly written by Mojtaba. But the true scale of this anomaly became clear precisely at the funeral of his father, Ali Khamenei. While millions of mourners filled the streets, the crowd called out to the new leader and chanted an oath of loyalty. Quote, "Here I am at your service, Mojtaba." That's what the crowd was chanting. People came to swear allegiance to the new leader, but there was no one to swear allegiance to. During all 6 days of mourning ceremonies in two countries, Iran and Iraq, the new supreme leader of Iran never appeared to lead the huge crowd of supporters. And he wasn't even seen next to his brothers, Mustafa, Masoud, and Maysam, when they were lowering their father's body into the grave in the city of Mashhad. Pay attention to this important detail. The brothers were there. All of Iran's political leadership was there, all the military. Foreign leadership in Iran was there. Foreign delegations were there. The only one who wasn't there was him, the very one who supposedly rules the country now. What do the Iranian authorities say about this? The official reason for Mojtaba Khamenei's absence is fear of an assassination attempt. Iranian officials explain Mojtaba Khamenei's absence by the ongoing threat of assassination, and it must be admitted this version is not without foundation. Israel directly threatened the younger Khamenei. Israeli Defense Minister Yisrael Katz publicly stated that the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, quote, is marked for death. In such a situation, any public appearance, well, of course, that's a risk. And as Professor Maxen Melani explains, he is the author of a book about the confrontation between Iran and the US. Here is his quote: "Considering the scale of the Islamic Republic's intelligence failures during the war, any public appearance by Mojtaba could put him at risk from assassins." Well, according to him, this would threaten both the process of transferring power itself and Tehran's ability to negotiate with Washington or manage new controls. The logic is, well, rock solid. The regime has just lost its leader to an Israeli airstrike. Iranian intelligence was disgraced by failing to protect him, and no one is going to expose the successor, that is Mojtaba Khamenei, to the same strike. That's why they're keeping him in the shadows, officially for security reasons, but that's exactly what gives rise to conspiracy theories. And here's where it gets really interesting. Because the absence of a leader, which was intended as protection, had the exact opposite effect. Instead of calming things down, it unleashed a flood of rumors. And so, as observers note, the absence at the funeral only fuels even more intrigue, bringing to the forefront questions ranging from whether Khamenei is really running Iran to how severe his injuries were in the strike. Let's go through the theories that are already circulating, from the moderate ones to, well, the completely wild ones. Theory 1. Mojtaba Khamenei is seriously wounded or incapacitated. This is the most common version. The absence of Mojtaba at the funeral ceremonies may strengthen the Iranian opposition's belief that he is incapacitated. Indirectly, this theory was fueled by Donald Trump himself, and last month he called the younger Khamenei more rational than his father, effectively admitting that the new leader is alive but in rather poor condition. These words came from the President of the United States, who does have access to intelligence. That says a lot. The second theory, Mojtaba Khamenei is just a puppet. A more sophisticated version says that his appointment was originally designed to place the responsibility for decision-making on a figure whose physical absence makes his removal impossible. In other words, an invisible leader is the perfect leader. He can't be killed because he's basically not there. And he rules from the shadows, while the real decisions are made by someone else. That's it. If anything happens, just say Mojtaba Khamenei made the decision. And neither the US nor Israel nor even the Iranian people themselves can influence the leader's decision in any way. A decision that exists but at the same time doesn't really exist. And everything can be blamed on the will of the Ayatollah. This is a person whom, again, no one sees or hears from for months. The third theory, the most radical one, goes like this. Mahmoud Mojtaba Khamenei was killed along with his father. And this is where the internet really went wild. The very idea of Khamenei ruling from the shadows leaves the new supreme leader open to rumors that he is dead, or even that he is just a cardboard cutout. By the way, this is not a joke or a prank. Remember how in Tehran they actually put up his cardboard photo so that Iranians would come and swear allegiance to that cardboard cutout? On Iranian social networks, people are now joking that they have a cardboard leader instead of a living one. Well, during the week of ceremonies for Ali Khamenei, AI-generated videos were spreading online, supposedly showing Mojtaba Khamenei disguised as some poor man and walking among the mourners in Tehran to say goodbye to his father. And these fake videos created by artificial intelligence, supposedly showing the living leader Mojtaba Khamenei, are already a symptom of just how deep the information black hole around him is. Theory 4. Coup. Probably the most politically explosive theory. Some conservative channels inside the Islamic Republic of Iran accused those negotiating with the West of violating Mojtaba Khamenei's orders, and certain fringe groups even hinted that the negotiators had carried out an actual coup. And it didn't just remain words. The accusations led to real stones being thrown at Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi and Iran's president Masoud Pezeshkian as they walked in a mourning procession. I have already talked about this. Again, unfortunately, I can't show this footage on YouTube, but you can find it yourself if you really want to. Oh, it was the day before yesterday, July 8th really. Araghchi and Pezeshkian were walking in the farewell procession when suddenly they were attacked. Stones were thrown at them and the security tried to pull them out of there. They were accused of betraying Iran, betraying Ayatollah, carrying out a coup, and possibly even killing Mojtaba. In short, they are now holding behind-the-scenes negotiations with the West. Just think about it. The highest officials of Iran are being pelted with stones right at a state funeral. This is a sign of division within the regime. And the point is that part of Iranian society believes that it was Rakchi and Pizishkian who got rid of Mojtaba in order to conduct treacherous negotiations with the United States of America. But you know, at Ali Khamenei's funeral, there was an almost detective-like scene that perfectly captured the entire atmosphere. While the sea of mourners filled the courtyard of the huge mosque in Tehran to see the body of the slain leader for the last time, a mysterious man dressed as a clergyman stood aside and watched the ceremony from a balcony. His face was barely visible in the grainy video that appeared. And social media instantly erupted with suspicions that this was Mojtaba Khamenei, who had secretly come to say goodbye to his father, and that he was watching the entire procession from the balcony from afar.
Iranian accounts began circulating a clip from the funeral ceremony. A figure can be seen in the video. A clergyman walking through the crowd with his build and facial features partially visible beneath the turban and robes. And one by one, accounts started claiming the same thing: this is Mojtaba. The video spread quickly, with thousands of reposts in just a few hours. A discussion flared up on social media in Farsi. And for their memory, people paused the footage, zoomed in on images, compared old photos of Mojtaba with the figure in the video.
But the answer turned out to be mundane. Iranian cleric Reza Mousavi Vaez later stated that the person in the video was him. But the very fact that the video spread all over the world says a lot. As has been aptly noted, many supporters were more focused on searching for signs of Mojtaba than on the grand farewell ceremony for one of the most influential leaders in the history of this country. People were looking for a living ghost instead of mourning the dead leader. Now let's talk about why this is not just a curiosity, but a matter of high politics. The absence of a leader affects the country on several levels at once. The first is the psychology of the nation. Ordinary Iranians are now losing their sense of security. Today, Al Jazeera put together a great report. They talked to individual Iranians at this farewell ceremony. And this is how 26-year-old Masume put it at the funeral in Tehran. His words were retold and are now being shown by Al Jazeera. Quote, My country is no longer the old Iran, where the leader appears in public. The absence of Mojtaba doesn't matter by itself, but his presence is a sign of the country's security, and now I have the feeling that the security my country once had is gone. Well, I mean, even the loyalists feel that something has definitely broken. The second thing is that faith turns into something metaphysical. Again, as Al Jazeera reports, one of the mourners, 35-year-old Faiza, expressed it in an almost religious way. Quote, The fact that the new leader has not yet been seen is for her like faith in the mystical or in the hidden imam of the Shiites or even in the existence of God, something you don't see but you believe in. So the regime has to sell this invisible leader as an object of faith. Yes, no one has seen or heard him, and no one knows where he is, but you should believe Mojtaba Khamenei exists and rules the country. This works for the convinced, for the fanatics, but it opens the door to doubt for everyone else. The third and most dangerous thing for the regime is the erosion of taboos. Even among the staunchest supporters of the regime, the absence of Mojtaba Khamenei can sow doubts and open up space for once forbidden criticism. Amid internal strife over diplomacy with Washington, which is strongly rejected by the most radical factions. And this is directly related to what we talked about in previous episodes. It is the radicals inside Iran who are sabotaging the deal with the US by launching attacks in the Strait of Hormuz. The invisible leader cannot stop, imprison them, or bless them, and the power vacuum is filled with chaos. Now the conclusion. Officially, the leader of Iran is alive. The authorities claim that Mahmoud Mojtaba Khamenei is alive and simply hiding from Israeli assassins, and Donald Trump, who has access to intelligence, indirectly confirms this by saying that he is alive but in poor condition. There is no direct evidence of Mahmoud Mojtaba Khamenei's death. But, and this is the whole point, the regime has trapped itself. By hiding Mahmoud Mojtaba Khamenei for his safety, they created perfect conditions for rumors that the leader has long been dead. Not a single live appearance in 4.5 months. Missing his own father's funeral, mysterious figures on balconies, a video created by artificial intelligence, memes about the cardboard leader, stones thrown at the minister and the president, and whispers that there was supposedly a coup in the country a long time ago. When the state cannot, or simply does not want to, show the world a living ruler, it is essentially admitting that power in the country is held together by emptiness, covered up by blind faith. And the final paradox. It doesn't even matter whether Mahmoud Mojtaba Khamenei is alive or not. What matters is that Iran today is a country that is either ruled by an invisible man or not ruled by anyone at all. And a state whose leader cannot be seen, killed, or shown is a state that has entered its most dangerous phase. When the very reality of power becomes a matter of faith and rumors, and this is already the path to decline. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments under this episode. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Let's reach 300,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate that. And if you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you can do so with any donation using the links and details in the description of this video. I will be grateful for any support from you. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.